every player's dream when they're growing up is to play in the NFL, and you could accomplish that dream this offseason, but you decided to withdraw from the NFL draft, and I wanted to know about the reasons why you decided to choose Miami over the NFL this season.
A lot of went into that decision. That's probably one of the most stressful times of my life. Me, my dad, and my mom. Every day for me, my decision changed. I went into my parents' room. I told them one day I was going to this school. Next day I was going to the league. Next day I was going to Miami. So, if I had to do it all over again, I would. But I feel like the biggest thing for me was there was still food left on the table for me. I accomplished a lot of things at the FCS level. I haven't really accomplished things that I know I'm capable of doing at the Power 5 level. So, I feel like the NFL isn't going anywhere. And, I feel like God, He just put me in this position, be a Miami Hurricane. And I feel like it's been the best of both worlds since then.
Cam, also front row, this time left side right there on the edge.
Royal Hall, the Juice Network. Cam, how you doing this morning?
Doing good.
Cam, you've received a lot of preseason hype. Your names are mentioned for the Heisman Trophy, NIL deals, you name it. What has kept you pretty much grounded and humble throughout this whole process?
Really just how I was raised. I don't get too high, I don't get too low, even on the football field. At the end of the day, the only thing that's going to take care of myself and my family is making plays on the football field. So, everyone's opinion of myself really doesn't matter to me or my family. At this point, this time in my life, I'm more focused on, trying to win football games with the team around me. The coaching staff is going to put us in the best position. So, I don't really get into all that. But, if I happen to be, at the podium, up there in New York in December, I'll be, thanking God and thanking the guys.
Cam, right side, second row.
Hi, Cam. Adam Lemery, Herbert Hem Sports Radio. You came from the snowy state of Washington on the pollution. And now you're at the sunny sands of South Florida. So how much pressure do you have, performing at a high intensity school like Miami?
It's not really pressure at all. We got to show up and play each and every Saturday. We can't take no team too lightly. Whether we playing the best team in the country or the worst team in the country, we got to show up and be that team each and every Saturday. And, we're going to let the rest take care of itself.
Cam, we're going to go left side, second row, young lady in the blue jacket.
I'm Katrina Sacken for Sports and Culture Media. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Coach Criswell has talked so highly of you and evidently has so much faith in you. What does that do for your confidence on the field when you step out knowing how much faith he has in you?
It means a lot for me. I'm already a confident person, but we have a head coach like that who's going to instill that. Not only yourself but the whole team, offense and defense. It's going to help us. Later in the season. Because at the end of the day, we trying to win football games for his family, and it's going to set our families up in the long term. So just sticking to what he preaches each and every day outside of practice. Being good people on and off the field, and it'll translate to some wins.
Cam, right side, fourth row, gentleman in the green shirt.
Hey, Cam, how are you? Jeremy Grandison, ESPN Charlotte. There was a clip circulating around of you and Shador and Kyron Drones kind of practicing. Can you just talk about that a little bit and the work you put in, not only in spring practice, but also with other quarterbacks in the college football year?
That clip was crazy just because that's just how we are, us three. That's how we talk to each other each and every day, every time we talk on the phone. So it's always going to get blown out of proportion. But that just shows, that us three, the competitiveness that we have for each other, how we want to see each other be great. And I got a chance to play against Shador. I'll get a chance to play against Kyron this year. Those two great quarterbacks, I wish them the best. But, I'm just happy for, two kids like Kyron from Pearland, I'm from a small town, West Columbia, to be up on a stage like this and, not only express ourselves, but express our team. So, we've been playing in a good position and, we're just trying to do our best and run with it.
Throw back.
Hey, Jalen, Jordan Silversmith, SB Nation. You have a new center this year. What have you seen from Zach, and how has he replaced another great center, Matt Lee?
Yeah, Matt Lee had a great year, and I'm excited for his future in the NFL. Now that we have Zach, he's a great addition to the team. He's filling that leadership role really well. It took some time for him to get comfortable with all of us, but now he's filled the shoes really well as a center spot, and he's built that camaraderie with everybody, not just on the offensive line, but with our quarterback, Cam Ward, everybody on offense. So he's doing a really good job and excited for the season.
Jalen, from the podium, O-linemen don't get a lot of publicity. How do you know at the end of the game that you have had a good game?
As an offensive lineman, I know for me, I never feel like I had that great game because I always critique myself. I'm my biggest critic. And going in that film room, you think you had a great game, but when you in the film room with Coach Mirabal, you might be like, damn, maybe I didn't have that much of a great game. But as me, as a lot of the people in our room, you never feel like you had a great game because we always want to be better each day, and that's how you get better. You never want to be complacent. So after the end of the game, you think you have a great game, you shouldn't, because you should always look for room for improvement.
Follow the center aisle up and then to the right, gentleman in the lavender pullover.
Faxon Childress, 105.5 The Roar. As an offensive lineman and in a league with so many great defensive linemen going up against you, what do you feel like your role is to set the tone in the game and kind of establish the trenches early?
I mean, we get that pretty early because we get that a lot during practice. We have a lot of, defensive linemen in our program right now that get us ready for the games. For when we go into games, we're really prepared. We got Ruben Bain, we got Akeem Mesidor, we got Tyler Barron, Elijah Austin, the list goes on. So when we go against these guys that have a great defensive line, it's no problem, and we're ready for that challenge.
Jalen, to your left, the gentleman against the wall.
Historically, when Rob Johnson, Legacy Maker Sports Network, historically when Miami's been good, they've had great offensive lines. What kind of advice have you gotten from past great players on that O-line of what you can do to have success?
I mean, speaking of recently, we had our Legends Camp, and a lot of the alumni came back, and we got a lot of, great feedback. And instead of, coaching the little kids, we got a little time with the alumni and teaching or hearing technique that they use in their past experience as an offensive lineman in the league and in college, and they're just spewing that all to us and teaching us. So it was a great learning moment, and I'm excited to use that, in my game.
Jalen, staying on the left, second row.
Mayor Dungemont, the Players Lounge, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
So Coach Cristobal gave us some insight to the unbreakable culture at Miami. How do you assume that responsibility as you carry it out onto the field as a top offensive performer?
Yeah, so it's very important as a guy this is my 5th year, so it's important for me to really learn all the things that I learned in my past times here. And just pushing that on to the younger guys. And, I've experienced a lot throughout my time here, and so has other leaders. So learning from other leaders and learning my experience as a player in this offensive line or in this room or in this program is important for me to, see what I learned and see what other people have learned as leaders and put that to the younger guys and put that more into my teammates as well so we can be a cohesive and, successful unit.
Jalen, your last question here from the podium. You had 19 offers coming out of high school, literally from A to V. You're a Florida guy. You stayed in the Sunshine State.
Oh, yeah. That was, I always wanted to be in the vicinity of my hometown, Jacksonville, Florida. So it was important for me to just stay in Florida. And luckily and fortunately, I ended up in Miami Hurricane. So I'm excited to be my Hurricane. This is my 5th year being my Hurricane, and I will always be a Hurricane.
Layla Turner, correspondent for AP Kelly as we see. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Good, thank you. As one of Miami's top defensive performers, how do you see your role in mentoring and leading the younger players on the team?
I think part of it comes with the culture of the team. I think Coach Cristobal has held the standard, high expectation for us to meet, and I think everybody buys into it. And for myself, I think being able to be around great leaders and being around great people that have the same mindset as you is really important. And that's been a big factor of who I am today, is just being able to be around the people that, help me reach the goal that I want to.
Francisco, also front row, this time to your right. Yes, sir, you?
Yes. How you doing? Francisco, you're from California. This is Mike Galtieri from LightsCameraSports.com. You're from California. You played at Washington State. Interested, why did you transfer to Miami, and how's it been after 1 year?
Okay, get it straight. I'm from American Samoa. I was in California for 1 year. I was at Washington State for my freshman and sophomore year, and made the transition to come here to Miami. And part of it was just the coaches, and I think these guys have really welcomed me very good, with open hands, and having my brother with me too has been a big factor into it. I think being able to be with family is very important. Family is very important to me. It's a priority, and I want to make a family tradition with just being my brother and being around great people like Coach Chris Ball and these guys that help uplift your spirit and being able to be the best player, and not only your best player but the best person you could be.
Francisco, from the podium, you played quarterback in high school. How does that experience in high school help you on the defensive side of the ball here in college?
I mean, growing up playing quarterback has been fun. I love playing quarterback, love having the ball in my hands, and I think just seeing the game different from a quarterback perspective have changed the game for me. Just being able to feel what a quarterback will feel. I think that was very important for me as a linebacker, because when a quarterback gets hit one time, two times, and they kind of feel that. I mean, for me, when I was a quarterback, I felt the same way, and just seeing the game at that perspective has been really important to transition my game at a high level.
So does that mean you're sympathetic when a quarterback gets hit?
At this point, as a defensive player, not anymore, but kind of got used to it.
Other questions from the room for Francisco? We're going to bring it down first row to the right. Gentleman about the second seat in.
How you doing? Deshaun Miner, College Football Nation. Your eyes lit up when you started talking about family. I want to talk about you as a young man. You've been going through a lot of changes. We as media don't get a chance to know what you guys go through in the locker room. Talk about like your core pillars as a young man and how they align with like Coach Cristobal and the rest of his players in his locker room, and like the family dynamic that goes on behind the scenes with Miami.
I mean, for me, being raised as a kid in American Samoa, I was taught to serve, and I think this program has very similar aspects. I think coming in, I kind of just felt welcome and just immediately attached to it, because the culture is pretty much the same, and the coaches are very easy to talk to, and you kind of just build those relationships that that will go a long way. And I think having a relationship with your coaches and your teammates is very important, because that's how you earn trust, and being able to trust your teammates and your coaches, that will translate to the field and how you perform. So, yeah.
Francisco.